Well, thanks ever so much for your time this morning or this evening for you guys. Exciting times. Another track off the wonderful album that absolutely side blinded me last year when it landed in my inbox and ended up becoming number 3 in our album charts for the year, which was fantastic. Frenzy was incredible.
Thank you.
And of course, the rare thing for you is, and the hard thing is not being able to tour that album yet, which just means everyone learns the songs more when you finally do.
That's a positive way to look at it. Yeah.
You've got to be positive.
Yeah, that's very good. I like that.
Well, the reason we're talking today is later in the week, we've got the absolute pleasure of premiering the video for the new single, which is incredible. I've got all my notes up here because I've been jotting little stuff through, Run Through the Valley. I've had the pleasure of seeing the video. It's fantastic. The song's great as well. First of all, before we talk about the video, what was the idea behind the track?
Behind the music, you mean? It was the last song that I wrote for Frenzy. And the song was actually so new that when we took it to England and rehearsed it, it probably took us 30 takes to get the transition down. So what you hear on the final, album track is 4 really pissed off guys just, going, playing for your lives, trying to make sure that nobody messes up. But as far as like the inspiration for the song, I was just wanting something that could play around with some transitions in melody and rhythm, something that could go really heavy but still have a groove to it at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't know where the rest of it came from. I had been watching a lot of classic black and white like romance movies. So, there's some lines about, like a kiss in black and white and that kind of stuff. So, but it's a psychedelic, more of a psychedelic song in my head, like a psychedelic groove, but
it's got that wonderfully annoying hook that catches you with that underline Run Through the Valley with it. It just you finish the album and that's one of the tracks that still plays through your head because it's got that wonderful repetitive choral line that's catchy.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. I mean, that's what I want.
Yeah. I do until I'm trying to get to sleep and it's still in my head going over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, you want to leave them with something that they want to come back for, right? So
yeah.
Hopefully. Well, thank you. Yeah, that's nice.
That's cool. I've got visions of you all now in the studio looking at the clock going, we've got a flight in an hour and we haven't nailed this track yet.
Yeah. I mean, we were recording 2 or 3 songs a day, like basic tracks, Yeah. But for whatever reason, this was the one that just was not working at the time.
Yeah.
So
well,
finally.
For those of our readers that haven't read our interview that we did last year, obviously the album was recorded at Courtyard Studios, which Radiohead and Gaz Coombs from Supergrass go in and record from. And Ian Davenport, who's recorded with both and Band of Skulls, worked and produced the album. So the results were stunning, absolutely stunning. It's an album that still doesn't leave my CD player.
Thank you.
It's a great album. And friends of mine that have come around have just been hooked by it. Absolutely love it. A couple of the radio stations here I've handed albums to, they've listened to it, love it. In fact, I'm on a radio show next Saturday, actually. I'm a guest just for the whole show, and they've said, bring whatever music in to play. And I'll be taking my copy of the CD in and asking them to bang a couple of tracks out from that because it's just fantastic.
Nice. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. So let's talk about the video now because I've had the pleasure of seeing it. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. I need to go to that laundrette. It seems to be.
Yeah. Well, and part of the reason, Sean, I wanted to bring Ed along for this interview is because he's done all of our music videos.
Yeah.
So
cool.
A bit of continuity, and Ed and I have a good, I think, building into a good rapport, maybe.
You could friends.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but this is definitely, this could be an Ed segment here. This was essentially Ed's idea as far as the concept for the video goes.
Well, yeah, let's hear your side, Ed, because it's shot beautifully. It's the finished article is so slick as well visually, not just the content of the video. It's beautifully shot. It's wonderful. Tell me the story. What went through your head the moment you heard the track?
Well, I mean, again, I think Jay's being very modest. Out of all the videos that we've done, I'd say probably he stepped into more of a producer role than I had seen in the past. I think primarily what dictated that too was this COVID-19 pandemic. We really struggled with, kind of getting locations and all the elements that require to film. It's no surprise that to film anything, it requires a crew, many people being in a confined space for an extended amount of time. So finding locations and securing locations was a bit of a beast. I actually, my traditional co-producer who I work a lot with, his name's Drew Hodges. He's been out of town in Colorado for the past, 4 or 5 months. So really Jay kind of stepped up to the plate here and really helped make this whole thing happen. The original concept for the video, being in North Texas, I don't know if you're familiar with the story of Bonnie and Clyde or anything like that, but
Yeah.
Okay. And the story is a little bit of a Bonnie and Clyde with a little tongue in cheek. Obviously, you kind of have this bumbling fool with this gorgeous woman, and they kind of go on a, escapading around and robbing a store and kind of having this whole meet cute moment, and then later to only be abandoned. To me, Run Through the Valley, you really do think of motion, movement, forward progression. So something like that kind of had to be conveyed in a pretty clear and articulate manner. And I thought, where else could you have this sort of meet cute moment between, our bumbling fool and this woman at a laundromat, where, again, hopefully it's conveyed that she sort of set him up, or basically he's a bit of a patsy. So the original log line that that Drew and I had worked on when we were putting together a treatment and outline for Jay was Bonnie and Clyde and the Hunchback of Notre Dallas, so North Dallas. So we've got like our Hunchback character in this Bonnie and Clyde kind of situation. And really the catalyst for the Bonnie and Clyde did originally stem for Jay. Our relationship kind of is Jay has this idea, and then I try to see what we can do with that idea, and really kind of what sticks. So
well, it's come out fantastically, and we can't wait to show it on Friday, I believe. It's always difficult working days out when we're the other side of the world. Thursday for you, or Friday for us, or Saturday for us, and Friday we'll work it out. But it's as I say, it's a catchy tune. It's a slick video. What's I suppose I'm going to say, how hard is it for you, knowing that probably visual content is the best way now for the band to be showing themselves to the world with the way the world is currently?
It means I have to really comb my hair a lot more often.
Well, there's filters. Zoom has filters. It's fine.
I'm hoping you have a filter that you're going to put on this.
It looks really nice. It looks lovely. The pigtails look wonderful.
I know, right? And it only gets longer. But it's nice to interact in a sweat-filled rock and roll environment, when you're playing live. But if you can get together and put a music video, this took 6 months of preparation. And it's all because of COVID. It's just, nobody wants to let you into a laundromat when they don't know who you are, to say, yeah, I'm going to have a girl that's, half naked and she's going to, she's going to play with guns. It's tough to find, unless you tell them you're a college student, then.
I may want to describe the situation in Texas too. I think we've been fairly open, at least recently too. So that kind of helped sort of, they lifted the mask mandate and everything. So we're, I think, a little bit more flexible as of recent to be able to produce these things. I think that even psychologically, I think it makes the collective over here basically feel a little bit more comfortable under these circumstances, which I think had something to do with allowing us to get these locations and work with the crews in the way that we needed to accomplish this.
But the other basic, the other advantage you guys have got is you're able to cook barbecue in the snow. I saw the video.
Yeah.
We did do that. I did.
Saw that.
Yeah. Yeah. When you run out of power due to a once in 100-year storm in Texas, winter storm,
wow,
you have to be creative.
Very, very, and it was good.
I couldn't let the hamburgers go bad. So.
No, and it's one of the few countries you could cook a burger and it was frozen after you'd finished cooking it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Keep it outside, you know.
Well, one of my dream tours would be to see you and the Vintage Caravan come here to Australia together on a joint headline tour. That would just be fantastic.
That would be fun. We worked with the same producer.
Yeah.
I think Ian went to Iceland to work with them once or twice now. So
yeah, cool. It's such a great this sound, and we spoke in our interview about this wonderful old sound that you've captured with a real new twist to it. And you know, when you have those wonderful grooves from those massive heavy rock bands that have just spread their love around the world, and then you've twisted it with a new vibe. It's just wonderful.
I noticed that too.
Did you mean to name drop one of our songs when you did that?
Which
Sean?
one where did I go?
You said spread their love around.
There we go. See, that was another one. I must have fallen asleep and it's just going over and over and over.
That's wonderful.
That's free advertising. I won't charge you for that one. I threw that one in.
I own the song.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, another thing we're going to do is we're going to when we finish the interview, we're going to get a question from you to ask our readers, and we're going to give away one of those wonderful signed CDs you gave us very kindly. So one of our lucky readers will win a copy of that, and I can tell them now it's a fantastic album, and once they get it, they're going to wear it out because it'll get jammed in their CD player for life.
Absolutely. Yeah. and the more that they love it, the better our chances of being in Australia. So.
Exactly. And of course, when we spoke in the interview, something you did mention was you'd already written a lot more material for the follow-up album, which you felt at the time was even stronger than what you'd already done. So obviously you must be chomping at the bit to sort of get on with the next chapter.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because by the time an album comes out, I've already worked on it, you know, and heard it multiple times, and then you pre-produce it, and then you record it, and then you hear the mixes, and then you hear the masters, and then I've probably heard the songs 1,000 times, but for everybody else it's brand new. So it's a weird thing where, you know, what you hear from me is a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's fresh, it's not new to where I am right now. So there's this weird catching up process. Yeah. But I am really excited to record, hopefully end of this year with Ian again. And we've got more than enough songs for another album. So
wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the next chapter in Hola Roller Baby, because it's this chapter's been great. I'm quite stingy with my marks, and I gave it 9.5 out of 10 last year. It was
Sean, what do we got to do for the 10?
put a bonus track on. Put one more track on, and that would have done it.
Yeah.
I'm greedy. I want to hear more. No. It was wonderful. It's very difficult to give me 10. I don't give many 10s, but that's
I don't know what a 10 would be. I mean, would it be a Sgt. Pepper, or I
don't know. I don't think I've ever given a 10. I don't know. And in fact, one of the albums that just pipped you was, and only just pipped you, was Blackstone Cherry. I mean, how crazy. That was a fantastic album, and it literally was down to our reviewers by one vote that just nipped ahead of you. And it's a testament to the album that a band that's been so prolific like Blackstone Cherry, and you just missed out by one vote. It was just incredible.
Well, I've always loved Australian music, and the interviews like this are nice for me because I didn't get the opportunity to tour the album. So it's tough to gauge, when somebody just clicks a like on Facebook, but to actually to get feedback on how it's, connected with somebody, that's amazing. So
Well, I'm just glad that day that email dropped into my inbox from you, and I got to hear it, and I just put that first track on, and it was just Leper Blues just grabbed me straight away. That riff just was immediately the thing, and as you know yourself, that first track can be the difference between someone pressing skip and going, yeah, that was all right, or the one that goes, oh, I need to hear more of this, and
yeah.
I was hooked after track 2, and that was it. Bang. So fantastic.
Yeah. And you know, that was my favorite music video up until this point, working with Ed, was the Leper Blues video, because we set it up so that it would kind of take the piss out of how intense the song sounded.
Yeah. It is intense as well.
Yeah. You know, having a bunch of 25-year-old kids jumping around in 105-degree heat.
They'll be suited for here when summer comes back.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they all went home dehydrated, but they got to play with fake blood. So
yeah, exactly.
And what 25-year-old doesn't want to do that in this day and age?
I wanted to do that. I was jealous.
Yes, yeah.
Well, listen, we're so pleased to get to premiere the video later this week, and I'm sure our readers are going to love it. And I'm hoping that for those that haven't heard the album yet and haven't read our interview, damn you, readers! But for those that have, this is one more chapter in this wonderful album that I hope those that haven't heard it yet will be dragged to with this track and video.
Absolutely, and thanks to you, Sean, and the Rockpit for premiering the video, and to everyone else in Australia that's warmly embraced us so far. It's really nice. So
well, it's great, and we just can't wait for things to get to a bit more normality and have you over here, and I'm sure we'll hang for barbecues in the sun rather than the snow, and some nice ice cold Australian beers.
That sounds like a plan. That sounds really good.
Bring Ed along, because he can shoot the tour video.
Yeah, Ed can come whenever he wants.
Well, guys, thank you so much for your time on chatting about this. We'll have this video up in the week just before the video, maybe a couple of days, and we just wish you all the best for it, and we can't wait for everyone to see it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Rockpit.
You're welcome, guys.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.